want to do something that's completely different from what we're doing. Our vision and mission: get the best product, put it there. Try not to spoil it. Just use the grill to make it as pure as possible. But again, the wine world also changes. So like now they're looking for more fluid wines, softer kind of wines on the red side. More natural wines. So that trend had to be reflected in your menu. Your menu has to change. If it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. It could happen. Yeah?
On today's podcast, I have Miguel Hernández Sarmiento as my guest. He is the owner of Restaurante Sarmiento in Casares. Today we will talk about his story, his philosophy, gastronomy, and the identity of his restaurant with the local culture, his business insights, and future plans for the restaurant. So Miguel, you're very welcome.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you for having me.
And I'm glad you came, because last time we arranged it, your child was sick, you got a cold, and I don't know what happened.
Absolutely, and up until last night, with the rain, and I cannot believe that it's going to be a third time. But well, thank God we're here.
Yeah, we're here. Very good. So, restaurant is your thing.
Absolutely.
You're into dealing with people all the time. But before we get into it, give us a little bit of your personal background. How did you get into where you are today?
Sure. Okay. Well, the story. I first was my career when I was growing up. I wanted to be a lawyer.
Oh.
a lawyer. Sorry. And yes. So that's what always in my mind. When I was growing up. But I thought that since I was a child, because my family, my uncle, he has a law firm, and it was something like it was always within me. But then when I first studied, I went to study law, and I realized that was not my thing. My thing was to deal with people, that was my thing, So
deal with them when they're happy, not unhappy.
Absolutely, on the happy side, happy side. So then I realized that was not my something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Then I changed path, and because my family background, they have hospitality business. Okay. Therefore, I said, okay, this is what I want to do, because I realized also that I wanted to live here in the area. I think this is an amazing area to live. In fact, we have so many people that are eager to come and that are willing to change everything just to come here. Right. So I was certain that I wanted to live here. And then I said, okay, hospitality is fantastic. It's something that I like, something that I can develop myself within the area. So then I study hospitality.
Had you finished your law degree?
No. I quit
right at the beginning.
Yeah, right at the beginning. Yeah. I like I said, I think it was something that I never give it too much thought. It was like always on my DNA. Because of my uncle, and okay, listen, you're gonna be there. This is something that's good for you.
I get it.
But I didn't really. Give it that much thought, So I realized that I wanted to live here, and I wanted to deal with people on the happy side, like you said, right, Charlie.
Right.
So then I moved. I study hospitality, and here.
Where did you do that?
In Malaga.
Malaga.
In Malaga, yeah, in Malaga. And then all of a sudden, I got an opportunity to work abroad, and I moved to the Midlands, in just outside Birmingham, in a very well-known golf resort at the Belfry Hotel.
Oh wow!
Yes. So that was my first experience there, and to be completely honest, it was going to be something for 6 months, Yeah. But then I start to evolve there, and then I got into a program within the Veer. It was the Veer hospitality brand who managed the Veer. Used to manage the Belfry at the time. Okay. So I got into a program, for middle management, and the rest is history, Okay. So I was there. Experience that was going to be for 6 months. Ended up for 9 years. I moved to Dublin, then I moved to London. So 9 years altogether
When you were in hospitality in the Belfry, what were you doing? Were you in the kitchen?
No. I was always managing, but on the F&B side always. You know. Yeah. So I started as a supervisor, and then I move on assistant manager. You know that there are more layers there, and
I know a little bit about F&B because my daughter went to La Roche, and there she told me all the syllabus. You know, the things she had to learn, tasting wines, understanding food. I think I still got a collection of knives at the house because you got to learn to carve and everything else, plus everything to do with management, of course, and that sort of thing. And I mean, she's ended up in hotels and everything else. Now she's in London working for an event management company.
I see. Fantastic. The programs at La Roche is is an amazing program. Because it teaches you everything. And this is something that I think now, from my perspective. As a restaurant owner now, is something that we should have more, that people that know the business from the inside, not thinking that you're going to be managing your restaurant right away, and you have the opportunity to be able to run a project. It's fine, but you need to know everything, you know.
Sounds like the real estate business.
Absolutely.
We need to have it more controlled and more regulated.
Absolutely.
Because it's an issue, good. So, I mean, you had the inspiration. That's what you like. You're obviously a very people person orientated.
Sure.
And so you were in Birmingham. You went to Dublin. Where were you in Dublin?
Yeah, just outside Dublin, Maynooth, because the general manager that was in charge of at the Belfry, he was Irish, and then he came back to this project. It was an amazing project, 2008, I believe, so it was 2007, late 2007. So. Economic was boosting, and it was a project of a property privately owned. So it was an opportunity to develop absolutely everything pretty much from the scratch. So that caught my attention also, and also to change, and to see the Irish way or the Irish culture, that was something a plus, So an amazing 4 years there. Again, what caught my attention there was that it was privately owned, and we have so much input, in that kind of project. It was like building from the scratch, basically. So it was an amazing time.
So what inspired you to come back home?
Again, after that, I have an experience. I was a couple of years in London, which it was my first. When I went to the UK or when I went abroad, my dream was always to live in London. That was my thing. But I thought that I went with my partner, with my wife now, and I wanted to take it out of London because it was so many Spanish people or Spanish talking people, So I wanted to learn the language properly. So I said, okay, let's move over from London back then. And but I went to London then, and I said, okay, it's already 10 years. I was there with my.
How old were you at the time?
I was there 34. Yeah.
So
the thing is that. Either we stay, it becomes to an age that either we stay here, and we make a family here, or we go back home, And so coming back home, it was always on the ideas, and we got the opportunity to come back, and then we came back, and then my first experience here. Was in Marbella, was in a 5-star property in Marbella, just outside Marbella. Again on the F&B side, and then I moved to as a deputy general manager there in a 5-star property, like I said, and then my next step, which I think was something that has to do a lot with the actual project, was to come here to Sotogrande, and to work for Sotogrande SA. I have a colleague who also studied at La Roche, and he said, Miguel, listen, this is a project here. Okay, this company, they are a real estate company basically, but they want to revitalize certain assets, that they have. Back in the day, they have hotels, and they have many ideas for people.
So what year was that? Was that the?
That was. It was the first year when Sotogrande was bought for the trust funds,
From Orion.
Yeah, from
Okay,
Orion.
okay.
It was. I was actually, they gathered a team, the hospitality, Sotogrande destination team. I remember, and it was a multilateral team. We have people from real estate, we have people from F&B, marketing, obviously, and he was like, okay, what are we gonna do back then? Okay, they have bought the whole thing. Okay, what are we gonna do? Okay, let's again revitalize some certain areas. Our first project was to revitalize the La Marina, the marlin, and we were owners of a high percentage of the units that were there, the commercial units. So okay. I remember back in the day it was only a spinnaker. I remember back in the day. So
which is now in Italian.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. No, that area has changed. I remember our first picture as a destination team. It was there. We took a selfie there. It was like a completely empty area. And our first task was, okay, guys, we need to make this a boosting commercial area full of restaurants, and that was our first task. We did the first year El Mercado de Levante, which I was in charge of the operation. We did it for 2 years. Then we were dealing with bringing people like Pura Tapa or Don Diego, who is still there, Moncayo, who is still there, and that was our first task. So it was like I said. That brought me out of the. I was very focused on hotels and F&B. I went up to the ladder and I was a deputy general manager. So I was waiting. My next move was going to be to move far away because the Vinci Hotels, who run the hotel that I used to work, they have properties also in North Africa, Algeria. So always the deputy general managers, they go up there to make their time there in order to be ready to be general manager. Right. So I was very focused on that. But when I came here, I saw that so many possibilities and everything that could be done, and that was for me a key moment.
So you were there with the Topiol years, so to speak.
Absolutely. I was this team was very close to Marc Topiol. Marc was here like maybe 6 months before we arrived, and we were. I remember our office was in La Manzana. Remember, at the middle of the hotel, and this was all the operations where everything happens, from business plans to F&B projects, so there was an amazing time also, and that really got me out of my focus. I say, okay, there is wider possibilities and opportunities.
But now, correct me if I'm wrong, you're gone not wide, you're one restaurant.
Absolutely, absolutely. But that, to be honest, that wasn't the idea at the beginning. So our idea was.
So what inspired you to get to start this business?
Well, again, when I saw here, the opportunities that arose for many people here, and we were dealing with people. Okay, guys, you come here to the marina. So all the opportunities that were arising back then. And we grew up in Casares, myself and my brother, who's my business partner. We grew up in Casares, and there was a property, an amazing property. Is the property that the restaurant is that belonged to the family. But my father opened the restaurant 50 years ago, probably. But he was not a restaurant owner. He didn't have that. He was a business person. So he has several business, but he didn't have that restaurant kind of. Soul in it.
I've always said if you look at the money all the time, you're not looking at what people really. It's not. Absolutely. It's qualitative, not quantitative.
Absolutely.
It's all about love. It's about feeling. It's about smell. It's about music, ambiance, feeling. Those are the things that.
You said it. A specialty in hospitality. But my father, his background was banking. So imagine there was.
So he was looking at the numbers.
So there was nothing about that. No love. No nothing.
Yeah.
It was like numbers. Right. So the restaurant he rented out. The person who rented out the tenant was there for 30 years, and then the restaurant was closed. For almost 17 years. So the property was Casares. Was a little bit out of the site, and we being outside. We just wanted to. Our aim was to show all the good things that the Casares has, you know, the property itself, you know, everything that the producers, you know, we have because we are in the middle of we are very close to the sea, but we are in the middle of the mountain, you know, so there's so much to offer, you know. So again, our aim was a little bit to say, okay, let's open a space here to show everybody that everything that's good in here, you know. But like I was saying, the idea was to, okay, guys, because our specialty was we were more managers that, you know, our specialty was to manage things, you know. So we were into the business plans and all that, you know, and which I believe that it has been also part of our success, you know, because sometimes, you know, especially when people open a restaurant, the first thing that they think is a catchy name. Okay, I got the name, so everything else comes behind. You know, you need to have a business plan, and then after that you grow up, and then if you have a cool name, you have time to think about the cool name.
So just so that we understand, this restaurant was there. It was closed for many years. You and your brother decided that this could be a good idea.
Sure.
And you launched it based on the village Casares, and being out there.
Sure.
I just for the audience, you know, Casares is what 20 minutes away.
25 minutes away.
25 minutes away. Mm-hmm. And it's a place that people from residents in Sotogrande would visit, go out up into the hills to Gaucin, to Casares, to you know, other places, and particularly in winter, I think.
Absolutely.
Go to restaurants for at the weekends. You know,
absolutely. It's an amazing because like you said, Charlie, it's just 25 minutes away from Sotogrande, but it's like a completely different world. You know, like when you are driving up the road, and then all of a sudden you got there, and the climate is completely different. It's 5 degrees less, you know, and you know, and the colors of the trees and everything, and the food is completely different. It's a completely different world, you know.
Okay, so you're sitting there with your brother, and you do a business plan, and the name is your surname.
Sarmiento. Well, we wanted something that represents three key aspects. First of all, it was going to be the grill, okay? Because the main product, the raw product, it has to be the main character, you know? Back in the day, like I'm talking about this now, and some of the things that back in the day were not that important, you know? Like for example, when we first opened, 2008, when we were making the business plan, 2018, 2017, something like this. It was like all about the chefs and how fancy everything was, and the sauces and the air. Remember? Yeah, it has the air scented, right? So we say, okay, we are gonna do something. The main product has to be the raw product. Has to be the character. It has to be seasonal. It has to be locally sourced. So what are we going to use to you know, not to spoil it? You know, is the grill, you know. So Sarmiento wood is used for the grill. Then also
is that wood special?
It's special. Sarmiento means is vine shoot, you know.
Vine shoots.
You know the vine shoots?
Yeah.
That's the Sarmientos.
Okay.
So it's used for certain. Not everything. We don't use Sarmiento for everything, but for example, for the goat cutlets, we use Sarmiento because Sarmiento, you know, it has a lot of power. You know, like all of a sudden you get a lot of heat, and the scent is an amazing scent. You know, it gives you that kind of flavor from the vine. From the vine, yeah. So we say, okay, it has to represent the name grill, okay, or grill or raw. The wine was very important. Again, back in the day, Rioja Ribera. You know, you used to go there, Ribera, and we said. Mainly because my brother, all the experience in the UK, my brother was with me also. He's my little brother, so I took him with me, and so he was there, and we said, okay, how important we experienced how especially in the UK, but also in Ireland, how. The authenticity was getting lost for the big corporations, you know, like Starbucks everywhere, or Café à Manger, or all of those, you know. So we say, okay, you used to go to a relatively small village, and you couldn't find a restaurant that shows, you know, what truly was there. So we say, okay, if we're gonna open a restaurant here to show the good things around here. So we say, okay, let's do Andalusian wines. So back in the day, in fact, still do, now even more, half the wines were Andalusians. But this in 2017, it was like a mad thing to do, because everybody was like, okay, Pago de Carrabejas, all of these Ribera Riojas, and we were offering wines, and people were like, first of all, it was like, okay, you guys are doing you open a restaurant, it's more 120 wines, and then 60 wines are Andalusians. Then hardly people know what's going on with you guys. Go back to your business plan and check it out. But for us, it was crucial that this was represented, Andalusian wines. So again, Sarmiento is vine shoots, is the wine, and then the third leg was that it was family owned. Not only it was a restaurant that my father opened, even though for a brief time he ran it, but now my brother and myself, we both came back to our hometown to open this new project. So these three areas has to be covered by the name. So Sarmiento.
It
was a perfect.
When did you actually open it up?
2018. 2018. We opened May 2018.
Yeah, and I mean it is today. I've been a couple of times. It is not. It is affordable. But it's not the basic price that you can go. You go to a venta.
Absolutely.
And you pay a little less than
absolutely.
So that must be difficult to you to get off the ground because you got to get to be known. In other words, you've become a destination restaurant.
Absolutely.
People drive up the hill to see you. As people. 3 Michelin star people fly across the world.
Absolutely, to do it.
To do it. So, how did you get your marketing going? How did you?
Yes, we believed that that we have to. We were aware of that. We were like, okay, we are going to do something that's completely different from what we're doing. It was first our motto, our vision and mission include that. Okay, to do something different. Again, the idea was to get the best product. Put it there. Try not to spoil it. Just use the grill to make it as pure as possible. So that was the idea. And then we said, okay, it has to be, because the area that we live, we have Cortesin nearby, we have Sotogrande nearby, we have Marbella close by. So we say, okay, it has to be a place. It has to be a slot for this type of, for this type of business in this area, which it wasn't back in the day. Yeah. In fact, there was nothing in Casares. There were no restaurants open in the village. They were on the road, like a venta style, like you said. But we said, okay, take in consideration the public that we have here, obviously the venta is a nice experience, an amazing experience, but people could be looking for something a little bit extra, and it was something that we were a bit uncertain about, how difficult it was going to be to connect, because this is something that it has to be, it has to be like a very close. You recommend to a close friend, it has to be like that. Yeah. It's not only because this type of public is not like an Instagram thing, Instagram, it could be in a big city, it could be Marbella, but Charlie, you're not moved by an advertisement in like yourself. You're my target market, You're not moved by Instagram ads, So it has to be somebody close to show you.
It's word of mouth. It's reputation.
It's a word of mouth. It's a word of mouth. And,
which can be very positive or negative.
Absolutely.
If you get it wrong.
And we had. I'm telling you what. We had. We were. There were days that we did. Zero covers in one day. Can't you imagine? It was a big project because we were very well staffed because of our level of service. It was always a key thing from the beginning. It has to be like not only in the price range, but in the service standards and the food standards and the quality has to be even above that. So when you first open, you have I remember the team. We were 11 people. Imagine. When we used to do zero covers, It was like, well, guys, what is going to happen? And not only that, because Casares obviously is a touristic spot, and people were looking for something that they were used to, like a venta. Okay, do you do caldereta de chivo? And we're like, no, but we have oysters, grilled oysters, right? And these oysters come from Cádiz, and they were like, grilled oysters? Wait. No, that's not my thing, And we were on the international clientele, where people coming. I remember one of the things, and again, we struggle, because we said, okay, we have everything right, business plan wise, everything is right, but there is something that you don't have in mind, which is the timing, that you will engage with your. We were happy because once people were trying, and we were people that our target market came. They were so happy, and there was another person, another client, a new client coming from this person. So we knew that it was happening,
But you get traction.
But we were building that trust, but it was not. The speed was not big enough. In fact, with the international clientele, people were walking by. I remember one day. I was working in Sotogrande back in the day when we first opened. My brother was in charge of the restaurant back in the day. We first opened, and I was still here in Sotogrande. Only the second year is when I moved up. So we were there. I used to go there to talk to my brother. My brother was like a little bit, he was because he quit his job in Meliá Don Pepe. He was the F&B manager in Meliá Don Pepe. Big job, he was there for 4 years. And then he was like, Miguel, it's just not getting there. We are not getting there. And I remember that back in the day, I look at the window, and it was 7 people coming up. Juan, 7 people, maybe we did like 7 people in the whole day. I say, okay. And then they came up, British family. They came and they say, do you do paella? Do you paella? And I, for 1 second, I look at my brother, and I said, Juan, shall we do paella? And he said, and that was also a key moment. So Juan said, no, we're gonna do that. We are not gonna, we're gonna stick with your ideas, with your plan. And listen, if it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. It could happen.
No, you got to be honest and true to your.
Absolutely. But I remember that moment. I doubted, to be completely honest. I was like, well, let's do some paella. It's 7 people here. Like listen, the P&L is the P&L.
Yeah. But tell me, you talk very passionately about the whole thing. Who actually does the cooking?
That's the key. That's the key thing. My brother, like I said, he used to be, again, he did hospitality management like me. We did hotel management together, and then so he was managing. He was the F&B manager at Meliá Don Pepe. It's a big 5-star property in Marbella. He was there for 4 years, very successful. And then I always say, for him it was a key moment there. He met there Igor Gorrachetegui in one of the restaurants that he managed. He meant a grillman from the Basque country. Igor Gorrachetegui belongs to a family of grillmen, from the Basque country, And this, back in the day, like I said, it was the boom of the chefs, expensive watches, nice jackets, it was like, yes, chef, all these TV shows. And then all of a sudden he engaged with this guy, and he said, listen, I'm not a chef, I am a grillman,
the Argentinians call them parrilleros.
But like a parrillero back in the Basque country, it's like because it's a little bit different. In Argentina, parrillero is more like but in the Basque country, it's like a sacred position. It's like a monk or like a priest,
Oh, wow.
Because in the Basque country there's a religion, grill is a religion, So he met this guy. He says, no, I'm not the chef. I'm a grillman. This has been done in my family for 4 or 5 generations, and our job is to control the fire to work for us, So that's all this mystic around the grill and everything that was around it, that caught his attention, So he spent a lot of time with him, and that helped us, to build up the project, about the grill, about that, and then we move up. When I arrived at the second year. When I first arrived, we started to get busier, and then I arrived to the restaurant. I say, okay, Juan, this is okay. It's too big names for a small restaurant back then, So we have to let's focus each of us and put all our passion, all our energy in different areas, instead of stepping on our toes, and let's give it a big boost, So we said, obviously, Juan, he has been always more a number person, he was more like this type of person, and I a numbers person, and I have been always the outspoken, as you can see. So I said, okay, I will do front of house one, and you will do back of house. Okay, you will do accounts, you will do that, and part of that was, okay, you will deal with the kitchen, because at the end of the day, we noticed that it was key for us, with a very little revenue, to keep the cost tight. Okay, listen, we realized that, okay, it was taking us a little bit more time to take off. So, okay, cost wise, it need to be spot, on the spot. So he was like, okay, Juan, you're gonna be control cost, and that one his area was kitchen. Okay, so it was in the kitchen. He spent a lot of time in the kitchen with the chefs, with everything. He was organizing everything, making sure that everything was in order, purchasing everything. But he always kept an eye, like I said, on the grill, on that experience that he had with this Basque grillman.
So who actually does the cooking?
We had a thing. We had a head chef, but okay. Juan was managing the chef. But then all of a sudden he started to get involved in the kitchen, and then one day our head chef got like a sick leave.
Right.
Got a sick leave. It was like late September or mid-September, so he had to jump in. And we have a grillman, we have chefs, but he had to run the kitchen.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, he saw himself running there, and he said, "Okay, this is what I want to do." So after that season, mid-October, he said, "This is what I want to do. I want to run this." And then he went to the Basque Culinary Center. He did a grilling course there, and the rest is history.
Wow.
Yes. He's the one who does actually the cooking, not only supervising, but he's in charge of the grill.
What dishes really define the restaurant today? What if you were to say to somebody, "Come to my restaurant, my brother's there. We've got these wonderful wines. We've got this." What would be the dishes that you would say are the most typical, the most sought after?
Of course. We always first of all, one of the products that really define our cuisine as people from Casares, as casareños, is the goat. Goat is within the local economy. He has been each family had a goat, and you used to get milk, and so that's very within us, So goat milk products, dairy products, like we have the goat cheese, we have the goat cheese desserts, we have the goat cheese in many of the dishes, and the meat, the cutlets, the shoulder loin, which we cook slow temperature. That's one of the stars of the menu. And then also different, because we wanted to put not only the typical things that you will eat in a venta, but we have, for example, the sweetbreads, which is absolutely amazing. Again, and we also do another dish with the goat brains. Which is with the omelette, with fried brains. It's something that, again, we want to open up that to the rest of the people. You will eat cutlets everywhere and say, "Okay, I know goat." No, there's more than that. You will, from the goat, in a community like ours, you will eat everything. Because it was for the whole family. When you kill a goat. That was you need to make the most of it. It's not only like
even the skin to make a carpet.
Even to it. No, that's it. So this is very within us. So the goat is something again very important. And now always the seasonal products. Like we always go by the season now in terms of vegetables. Always the vegetables, asparagus now. The season is up now. Artichokes. So we go always by the season. Wild mushrooms. Now we go autumn and winter. And now in this time of the year, for example, we're in the middle of the hunting season. So we do a venison Wellington loin, which is an amazing dish. Wow. It's a big star. Rabbit, the wild rabbit. We get from the rabbit different dishes. So idea is not to obviously we need to buy the whole rabbit, so we do the rear backs on the grill, and then we stew the rest of the body, and then we make a brioche. So we do a salad with pickled rabbit also. So it's about doing. Getting everything, using everything. It's not like using just the loins and throw everything away. It's more than that. I guess Sarmiento goes also into that line, like we say with the goat. It's like, okay, it's not like getting just the loin and then throw everything away. No, it's about using everything. Everything needs to be used. You need to be creative and use absolutely everything.
That's very good. Very good. You're obviously based in Casares. The town and the culture of the town. How does that feel? I mean, they must have seen you guys when you were little kids.
Absolutely.
Growing up, and now running this restaurant, which is different to everyone else.
Absolutely.
Do they see you as?
Yes. No. We are proud ambassadors of Casares, and they see us like that. Like everybody is so happy for all the success that we're having. For all the recognitions that we're getting. Every time that we get a recognition, last one was to be recommended by the Michelin Guide. And every time you go to the village, to go to the market to buy everything or whatever. People are, like they feel it like theirs, because in fact, a little bit is theirs, like
of course.
We are Casares. He has a big part, not only the view, which also, the
view is amazing,
with also, but the place that we are, like I said, in the middle of close to the seas, so we are able to get amazing fish from Conil, from Cádiz, also clams from Fuengirola, prawns from Fuengirola, but then we are able to get wild mushrooms for the mountains of Jimena. So at the end of the day, the area that we live, it's like a win-win situation. So we came back home to promote and to help to build up something, and like I said, there was no restaurants in Casares village at the time. There is 4 restaurants now, including ours. So we are helping the community, but we are also getting from wherever, from local producers. We buy the eggs from a local farm. The bread is also from Casares, obviously. The meat we buy from a local butcher. So again, it's like a synergy.
An ecosystem.
It's like a synergy. Everything that we take, we give back. And again, obviously Sarmiento wouldn't be the same without Casares, and Casares wouldn't be the same without Sarmiento. Today, yeah, absolutely.
You said recognitions. You got a Michelin recognition. It's not a star.
We became recommended, which is an amazing achievement. For a restaurant like ours, it's absolutely, because it opens you to again the Michelin clientele, or the people that use the Michelin Guide is people that are looking for a gastronomic experience. And they don't care that much about the view. They don't care about that much about the decoration. They don't care about the buy. It's not like people that go into into Michelin. They're looking for the gastronomy and something that's linked to the place where it belongs, So in that kind of sense, so that opens you up to this clientele that we were saying that when we first thought about our target market, it was like a target market that used the Michelin Guide, Without, I'm not talking about Michelin star or anything like that. No recognition. I'm talking about the user, or the customer, the client, My client used to this client. In fact, when we first opened the restaurant back in 2017, when we were making the business plan, we used to use Michelin the guide. We used to do travel guides from the United States, because we said, okay, it's not about what I want to do, which sometimes happens. I'm going to make a restaurant or a business that's going to show what I want to do, and I say, no. What does my target market expect to find, right? Yeah. So that goes all with the Andalusian wines. We say, okay, if somebody from New York come here to Casares and they stay nearby in Sotogrande, or they stay in Finca Cortesín, what are they looking to find, or what are they aiming to find in Casares? Bordeaux wine.
No.
They probably had Bordeaux wine everywhere in the world. They want to get the best wine from Ronda. Yeah. So that was the whole thing, you know.
Who does the pairing? Who does the tasting?
I do. I have a sommelier course. Yeah.
Okay.
Although I don't consider myself a sommelier, that's a big name, you know. But no. All the wine, well, all the drinks offering is my side. Like I said, Juan is on the food side. I'm on the drink side, you know. So I manage all that, the pairings and the configuration of the menu, which again is as important as the sometimes, you know, restaurant owners, they don't realize, you know, wine experience has to be as exciting as the food, you know. And it's not only about food pairing. It's about new vibes, new trends, for example, you know, now new areas, you know, that you can find our wine offering, because we said, we want to make some like a nice experience somewhere that it really means something. So we say, what are we gonna do if we wanna do a menu? I mean, we have limited possibility. Back in the day, it was 120 references. We have now 267 references. So but we have little possibilities back then. So let's how we gonna make this mean something? So we took the hard decision, especially because we love wines, to only offer Spanish wines. Because we want to put the spotlight on the Andalusian wines. If I want to do 60 Andalusian wines, what I'm going to start with Bordeaux?
Why would you? I mean,
why would you? But now it makes all sense. But back in the day, it was like, because I mean, we used to have the same way that I used to have people that used to come from New York. I used to be like, well, I only know French wines. Yeah. So it's like, there you're sitting with a client there that you're going to have to, you know, offer him, which is good, but it's a big risk, you know. He knows Bordeaux, and he loves Bordeaux, and he loves Chateau Margaux, but you know, you need to offer something from Andalusia that pair Chateau Margaux.
You know, I mean, that's. I'm with you. I totally agree.
You know how it is. But back in the day, it was not that easy. But we make let's do an amazing Spanish selection. So you can find wine from Lanzarote, or you can find wine from Valencia. But again, the wine world also changes, you know. So like now they're looking for more fluid wines, softer kind of wines on the red side, you know, more natural wines. So that trend had to be reflected in your menu. Your menu has to change, you know, seasonally almost, you know. Of course. So but that's one of the secrets about Sarmiento, is that you have myself and Juan both pushing, you know. Sometimes it's a big clash, but you know, both are pushing to develop both sides of the business.
That's passion, and that's if you got yes people all the time, you go nowhere. You've got to have arguments. You've got to have discussions, positively, but to know.
Absolutely.
Tell me what do you think about the? I mean, you're local.
Yeah.
The restaurant scene here in Sotogrande and the around Sotogrande. Many of my clients come and say, you know, it's quiet, and you know, and there aren't restaurants.
Sure.
This is what there aren't restaurants. Now, if I did a little walk up and down Torre Guadiaro, and I went up and down, and there were 16 different places you can actually eat. I'm not saying eat, but eat. You know. So there's a lot of offer. The question is it good enough? You know, people go all the way to Marbella because they think it's better and everything else. How did you see that develop? I mean, as a young man, you must have seen this develop over time, and you know, people come, there's a K. Now there's Incha, and now you know.
I know Sotogrande, like I said, quite well. I work here for Sotogrande, say, for 5 years almost. So I know, and I found that Sotogrande idiosyncrasy is quite special. You know, it's and you have the very seasonal side of it, which is always a big challenge for business owners. That's changing a little. You know, that Sotogrande is becoming more like a whole year round. People are moving here. They have the kids in the international school. But it's something that people always ask me, okay, Miguel, where could it? We are on holidays now. We close on the 28th of December, and we come back on the 13th of February. And people are like, Miguel, where are we going to go now? Where are we going to go? Close by. And like, okay, where are you going to send them? You know, it's difficult. You know, it's difficult to see because to have a restaurant, you know, in a place, especially nowadays, you need to keep the flow always up and running, you know, and you need to keep the floor full all the time. It's a big question. It's a big question, Charlie. It's something that always has been on my mind. You know, that like why there are not enough in this area having this type of clientele. You know, why there is not, why the people had that feeling. The key is more than are there or are there not. Is that the feeling of the client is that there are not enough, you know, or there are not, is not enough variety. You know?
But yeah, but still, but then at the same time, you know, I ask people when they come here, you know, how often do you go out to restaurants?
Sure.
Is it every night? No. Is it every two times a week? Maybe. Is it once a week? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You know, so you're working 4 restaurants in a month, you know, and then you're going to rotate. So, you know, there are restaurants here.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
There are, and there maybe 1 or 2 are destination restaurants from here, like you, like Canchados, you know, which is you have to drive and leave out Sotogrande, and like 1 or 2 in you know Casamane and for fish and Miguel Hernández, you know, these are restaurants that have been here forever around the area that you have to discover, I suppose.
But I believe the key, or one of the things that one of the reasons is that at the end of the day, Sotogrande history of Sotogrande is a very residential area, you know. So this is changing a lot, and obviously in the season, you know, is a big boost. And but it's a very residential area. Even though people live here all year round, you have kids, you know, you have people that go, you know. So it's not people that are going to go 3 nights out, and that's the key thing. You need this couple of people. Why Marbella is boosting with restaurants is because people from Marbella. It's not a family destination, you know. It's like people from Marbella, they go out 3 nights a day. 4 nights. I have friends that live in Marbella, and they are architects, and they go 3 nights a day. So that's the type of client. That's why, and I think because Sotogrande, and this is changing. Like I said, you know, I see it now and I have a good perspective because when I first came here, like I said, el mercado de la Ribera del Marlin was completely empty. You know, there was nothing there. This is changing, but this is a very residential type area, you know, like a family orientated. Family orientated for restaurants is difficult because what happens is that you are family orientated, but then you don't want to find kids in your restaurant, like kids running around. You know what I mean? You know, so it's always like what gives you life kills you also.
Exactly. Yeah. Just before we close, sustainability. That's a big thing. You know, obviously you're supporting the local farmers. Sure. I'm sure you're not throwing the rubbish in the local rubbish. You're doing all of that. Is that something that you focus in deliberately? Is it like a chapter in your business plan? It is.
It was something that we always do because, like I said, you know, we are very linked to Casares culture, and I remember because my father, he used to come. He came from Valladolid, from the north. But my mother comes from Casares. So our grandmother. Casares, and her mother came from Casares. So, and we knew how important was to not throw away anything, you know. On the kitchen side, you know, on the food side, on the gastronomic side, it was like you couldn't throw anything away, nothing away. So, and this is something that we want to respect on your, like I said, you know, we could buy rabbit. Only you can buy only the rear backs, you know, because this is a dish that is the one that you sell the most. But we buy the whole rabbit to make different, you know, like we do the brioche with the stew, we do the pickled rabbit with the salad, and that also show people that you don't only eat loins, you know, this type of product, because this is something that I grew up without the knowledge of that, you know. I was like, okay, it was loin, and it's chicken breast, you know, and the rest,
the best cuts,
the best cuts, and it was something that it was like inspirational to our generation, our father's generation. It's like get the best, get the best of, get everything all the time, like have tomato all year round, have watermelon all year round. This was like a dream, you know, like you could have watermelon all year round. It was like an achievement for your culture, you know, for the economy. It was like, okay, the miracle is here, you know. You can you only eat loin, you know, and you eat watermelon in the winter time. Yeah. And this is completely, and we realize now that is completely different. You know, we go back to listen to nature, to having, you know, organic products, you know, without being like I said, no, this is not something that we're telling people of. But I think that from where we are, we can teach people a lot of things, you know, and this is something that slowly people see it in the restaurants, and they see, okay, when you come to my restaurant and they see, okay, this is a seasonal product, grab it, and I do this on the grill, I do this on the salad, and they do this on a brioche. And you can do it also. Yeah. You can do it at home, you know?
Exactly. Miguel, we've talked a lot.
I talk a lot. That's why I'm in charge of the front house. I'm not in the kitchen, right?
What is your favorite way to relax? You're now on holiday. Yeah. Do you go skiing?
We are actually leaving tomorrow. We're going to Andorra skiing. Nice. I love skiing. Having Sierra Nevada so close by is something that we do a lot. I like to do sports. You know, like, not on a professional way, but I like biking, I like riding.
You're halfway up the hill already.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So sport is always being in touch with nature, you know. Walking in the mountains is something that is always nice. And also something that I love is to socialize also, you know, because socialize, you know, having a glass of wine without thinking about the pairing, about that, you know. So socializing is also a big thing for me, because, you know, I socialize, and I'm so grateful because having a restaurant like Sarmiento give me the opportunity to meet people and to be host of many interesting people, and to share experiences, to share stories. So I feel like I'm able to socialize with a lot of people, but sometimes I like to socialize without thinking about the pairing or that. So that's another thing.
And what advice would you give a young person wanting to get into this business? I mean, is it something that you would recommend? I mean, hard work is number one, I'm sure.
First of all, what I would recommend, you know, I think that I'm in that age now that I'm starting to be able to recommend people, is that first they have to listen to their hearts, you know, like I did, you know. I was predestined to be a lawyer, you know, and I ended up running a restaurant in my hometown, you know, having lived abroad, you know, for many years. So listen to your heart, work. If you want to make it passionate, it's something that you're gonna spend a lot of time. It's gonna be a lot of sacrifices, a lot of hard work. But if it's something that you love, that you have passion, you know, it's gonna be a pleasure, you know. However, if you are stuck in something that you don't like, you will never be passionate about it, and you will never succeed. So first of all, they have to listen to their hearts. This is a very tough business, like all businesses, you know. Like if you want to be a good carpenter, yes, you need to love wood, you know. So it's not only about the restaurants, but the restaurant is always, you have the plus that you work with people are enjoying, and not only that, you see them enjoying, right? So if you're working on Christmas Day, not only you're working on Christmas Day, but you see people enjoying Christmas Day, right? So it's always, but again, if it makes you happy to make people happy, is an amazing profession. But first of all, is that you need to be certain that you love that. And then that you have to work a lot, and you have to prepare yourself. You know, like I said, this is not like any other business. You know, you need to know the business from upside down. Like I said, I started as a supervisor in a golf club, right? You know, where I knew everything, where I was close to the kitchen, where I was, and then, you know, I move up the ladder up, and I have a restaurant now. I have a restaurant business now. So you need to know. Knowledge is gonna give you. You could fail, but with knowledge and preparation, you know, you're gonna be less likely to not succeed. It's not to succeed. Sorry. So.
Miguel, that's been fantastic. Look, thank you very much for coming along.
It has been an absolute pleasure to come back to Sotogrande and to see you, Charlie. I see you back in Sarmiento.
I will. There you go, guys. Miguel from Sarmiento. If you want a lovely culinary experience, which is different but local here from Cadiz, up in the mountains, go and see Sarmiento. Go and see Miguel. He will be there. Very much looking forward to meeting with you. See you next time.
Okay. Charlie.